Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Oshi Season 2, Episode 4. So, what did I think about this week's episode? Honestly, I thought this week's episode did a great job at showcasing one of the themes that I was talking about last episode, which was pretty much the creator's involvement in a project. And I think it did a really good job at pretty much, showcasing just how important it is for a creator to be involved with it, but also how important it is for the outsiders to be involved with the project as well, so there can be some checks and balances. We also get to see a lot of great character development between Akane as well as some Kana as well, Akane, Aqua, and Kana, some interaction with the three of them, and just some more depth to their characters as a whole. And as a whole, I really enjoyed this week's episode, to put it bluntly. Now, before I go any further with this week's episode, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my anime and manga, as well as all my Oshinoko content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. So this week's episode starts off where we pretty much see the creator of Tokyo Blade, how she went to the play that was that Aqua gave her tickets to last episode. She goes to the play, she automatically falls in love with it, and she eventually goes and meets up with the guy that's running the whole Tokyo Blade play, and they pretty much come to they go to talk, have a one-on-one, and they have a personal one-on-one. And at first they're kind of like she's kind of like apologizing to him, but and then the guy's like, hey, listen, we can still do your script if you want. And then she's like, oh, we can? He's like, yeah, but let me put it bluntly, if you do your script the way that you want it, it's going to be very amateurish, to put it bluntly, because yes, he brings up the idea of she's never written a script, she knows nothing about screenplay when it comes to a play or anything like that. So what, if this comes out to light, if this entire script of hers comes to light, it's going to be a terrible look for not just only the IP of Tokyo Blade, but as well as her as well. So pretty much what happens is they come to an agreement, they come to a compromise. The Goa-kun, which was the scriptwriter, the previous scriptwriter, he's going to come back and they're going to work together. And I like the chemistry they had in this week's episode, where pretty much you see them talking through Skype calls and all that, Zoom meetings and all that, to be involved with the project, and they work on it very thoroughly. And they come to an agreement of all the stuff they gotta get rid of, what strengths should they keep, what weaknesses should they get rid of. And I like how they become really friendly, and they really see passion with each other. And it was a great turnaround from originally where she was very mean to him, and now she's very kind-hearted, and she's very understanding of his craft and really respects his craft as a whole. So I thought that was a really good gesture in her behalf towards the scriptwriter. And moving along the things, you see as the script changes, that also means that performance has to be changed. Now the performances have to be more it's going to be more towards the actor. It's going to be less driven by the dialogue and more about the emotions that the actors portray. And that's the thing that Kana, she's very happy about, because she's a pro at this, right? And we see that she is telling Akane and Aqua and them, like, hey, you guys might suffer about it. And not just them, because you see that also the director, during a scene between Akane and Aqua, you see them kind of struggle, like at least both of them, but specifically Aqua. And in the reason being is because Aqua's, he can't be really emotional at all when it comes to these emotional scenes. It's towards the end of the play, I guess. It's when Toki, she's been fatally wounded, and as he's trying to portray this scene, he can't hit any high emotional scenes at all. There's no emotion in his acting, and that's the thing that Kana brings up, and is like, listen, I think you need to settle down and think about how you can do this, because there's many ways to do that. And then you see Akane kind of think to herself, like, really, that he can't emotionally act at all? And Kana's like, hey, I'm also talking about you, because you always, your portrayals of scenes and all that, they're always dependent on another person's portrayal of a character. So you're a copy and paste. You yourself have never been able to issue an emotion in a scene without being compared to another person. So I really like how Kana even puts her on blast. It's like, hey, Aqua is not the only one that suffers from that, also you. So you see from there on how this episode starts developing, and how we see that pretty much that Aqua can't really gather himself into it, but thankfully Kana's there, and she kind of guides him to it. And she's like, listen, how you can make people cry in command, because I was really good at crying in command when it comes to acting, is that you think about something very sad. It's like, for example, let's say I say that imagine your mom dying, And obviously the second she says that, it triggers that, you know, PTSD from, you know, Ai's murder. And you see this like big like scene where you see Ai's scene where she dies. You know, he's revisiting that scene in his mind, and it really takes a toll on him emotionally. And it's a very powerful scene, and I really like how it was portrayed in the series, how they portrayed, you know, Aqua's PTSD, because yes, my man he's suffered a lot. And, you know, this week's episode really showcased the emotional damage that has taken, you know, the big emotional damage that this whole situation has taken upon him, even all these years later. Like, it still haunts him. And it gets to the point where, you know, as he's thinking about, like, you know, think about these emotional scenes, is like, also think about something to make, like, when you're happy. You know, if for you to be happy, just think about like happy moments in your life. And as he's thinking about, you know, these happy moments, like, you know, he starts thinking about Kana, Akane, Ruby. You know, he starts thinking about all the three of them, and he starts smiling. But then the second that happens, what happens? He see like his inner demon pretty much being like, you can't smile. What are you doing? You can't be happy. You don't deserve to be happy because you didn't protect her. That's why she died. And, you know, obviously referring to Ai. And obviously after that, he has like a panic attack. Like, it's really bad. And we see him go backstage, and he's like, tells the guy like, hey, I need some time off. He goes backstage, and thankfully Akane goes and accommodates him. You know, she's like, hey, what's going on? And, you know, he pretty much just, you know, he's just saying like, you know, he's kind of very quiet about it. He doesn't want to bring it up. And, you know, he's just like, hey, take me somewhere safe. There's a place that I know. Take me, because originally Akane's trying to like, you know, call Ruby or call his mother figure. And, you know, she's like, and he's like, no, don't do that, because I don't want to, you know, bother them and make them feel like, you know, I'm doing something wrong. If anything, make sure that you hit up my mentor, which is the guy, the director that used to, you know, work with Aqua as a kid. You know, the guy that, you know, the smoker. We've seen him earlier on in the series, and we see that pretty much what happens is they go to his place. Akane turns him in, and funny enough, Akane, like, you know, the guy's like, oh, so you're his girlfriend. I'm like, wow. Good for Aqua. And you see like she's all blushing, and so like, yeah, I'm his girlfriend, I guess. But the main important thing is, you see Aqua kind of in the floor, and as he's like, you know, being very traumatized by the whole scenario, you know, reliving Ai's memory of her murder, you see that Kane's there, and she's kind of overhearing the whole situation. And as she's overhearing like she starts piecing it together. It's like she starts realizing like, listen, is that the reason he was so like invested towards Ai? Is it because him and Ruby are his kids? At least that's the way that it came off as. I don't know if she definitely figured it out. I think Akane is a very smart girl. I think smart enough to figure out that, you know, there might be a connection between Aqua and Ruby towards Ai. Because what happens is, as soon as Aqua gets up, you see that Akane starts like, you know, hugging like Aqua, and she's like, I'm here for you. It's okay. You can cry. Like, don't hold it in. And Aqua is just like, you know, kind of like smiles. It's like, thank you. And it's a very powerful scene, because you listen, for any Akane fans, hey, y'all are winning right now in this shipping wars, at least for the time being. Because, you know, I'm a Kana enthusiast myself. You know, I'm a Kana best girl, but Akane's cool. And right now, I'm sure that the kite fight is going to be crazy in this week's episode, because obviously Akane was there for Aqua and able to, you know, be there for him and give him a shoulder to cry and, you know, lean on, while Kana was obviously too busy in the play. So I'm sure that, you know, the Akane fans are taking a big W right now, which, hey, take it, man. At the end of the day, I know my girl Kana's gonna win, all right? But with all that being said, I thought this week's episode was really, really good. I think it really, once again, showcased the emotional depth of this series as a whole, and also, you know, Aqua's inner conflict when it comes to, you know, him not realizing, him thinking to himself that he can't be happy because of the tragedy that happened to Ai, and he blames himself constantly, even to this day. And I think that was a very powerful sequence that we saw in this week's episode when he had his little panic attack. And overall, I thought this week's episode was really, really good. Now, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Oshinoko, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.